Welcome back to the news at 10. Weak health systems, inadequate human resources for health, and unequal access to proven health interventions have been identified as the challenges hindering the attainment of the health-related Millennium Development Goals. With the MDG target year close by, the health ministers of Commonwealth states have been reviewing the journey thus far and deliberating on how to position the MDGs post the 2015 agenda. Our correspondent, Yomi Otaigbe, who's covering the World Health Assembly meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, reports.
Ahead of the World Health Assembly meeting here in Geneva, Commonwealth health ministers are gathered to discuss issues that affect member states.
Childhood overweight and obesity.
Quite a number of the 53 member Commonwealth countries are represented here. From Africa, Asia, the Americas, Europe and the Pacific, these top officials have on their minds how to improve maternal and child health, disease prevention, and general overall health system strengthening. After the meeting, some of the participants speak on its outcome.
Gradually, we are crystallizing a common position. The first thing is that, yes, the Millennium Development Goals have been very useful. Yes, not all the countries will achieve the individual development goals. Yes, even by the design of the Millennium Development Goals, it was not intended that all health problems would be over. But now there's need to carry not only developing countries along, but also the developed world. And so we begin also to look at non-communicable diseases, which affects the developed world, but it's a challenge also to the developing world.
Sustainable development is another issue, and universal health coverage. And in this topic, they have also included the maternal and child health, and also now the declaration finally included the aging process, or that means the elderly health and the nutritional need for the elderly.
All these and many more concerns will be presented as a common front at the plenary session of the 67th World Health Assembly meeting, which over 190 WHO member countries will be attending. From Geneva, Switzerland, Yomi Otaigbe reporting for Channels Television News.
When the Delta State government ordered an all-hands-on-deck cleanup campaign in the city of Warri over a month ago, it has turned out not to be a one-off affair. The cleanup exercise has, however, gone beyond Warri and has been extended to several other local government areas of the state. Our community report tonight focuses on the Delta Environmental Sanitization Drive and the progress of Operation Clean Up Warri.
Etisala, now you're talking.
Heaps of refuse and waste decorate the medians and walkways in the oil-rich city of Warri, a sure sign of the residents' attitude of indiscriminate dumping. The state government decides to swing into action, swooping in on the various towns across Delta State to enforce a statewide environmental sanitation exercise. Of particular notoriety is the Ovier traditional market located at Alaka, for its traders blocking the roads with their wares and generating huge amounts of waste after every market day.
Carry your people, maybe they come outside, because we mean this one today. Today is 7 to 12.
The market women are compelled to join in the exercise, albeit with enthusiasm. It's the principal condition for opening the market for the day and beyond.
If they work and we're satisfied, they can trade tomorrow. But today, no market. Today is a permanent day of sanitation when we wear market. And from today, nobody should trade on the road.
The Delta State government's task force on sanitation has the mandate of clearing the city of garbage and filth, as well as educating residents on proper refuse disposal.
People should be responsible. People should not abuse the environment. Waste Management Board has been doing it before now. The council has been doing it before now. What they want is free. and nothing is free, even in free time.
There would always be violations of the sanitation exercise, either deliberately or inadvertently. The Sanitation Task Force makes several arrests. The defaulters are to be prosecuted before a mobile court.
What happened, madam?
I'm there at this morning, and even though there is government here, I'm coming for my answer. And they tell me to come out to buy something there. You don't pick me. Look at my nose, I'm coming for my answer, I'm going to finish.
A bulldozer attacks an illegal structure, several of which have to be demolished to make way for new infrastructure. While the traders appreciate this radical approach to cleanliness, there are also some contentious issues they want addressed.
They should do it and also help us to maintain our roads, because the road in question is bad.
Medicine they continue every time. And they feel like make it they continue more feel they get power to the cleaner.
Whatever the gains of this particular environmental sanitation exercise in Delta State, it would all come to nothing if it is not sustained and enforced week in, week out.
Etisala, now you're talking.
The Lagos State Governor, Babatunde Fashola, has complained of the high rate at which people block the canals and drains with refuse. Inspecting the Jorabadia area, Governor Fashola says the more these canals are filled with refuse, the more the state gets flooded. He also says government will no longer tolerate people using under the bridges as shelter.
Messy and eyesore just describes this drain filled with all sorts of rubbish. And on the shoulder of the drain is this man who is preparing chicken for consumption. This is the Jorabadia area of Lagos, and Governor Babatunde Fashola and his team are here to inspect the area. He also spoke to some occupants who are now residing under the bridge. He's not pleased with them. He goes on to inspect the site where the proposed housing estate will be built.
The housing development here is making progress. There's a lot of work going on off-site. By the time the piling which is going on also settles, we will gain a lot of speed, and perhaps that will bring more credibility and acceptability into the idea behind it.
And then it's off to Igomu, where the governor inspected the canal to see if it is flowing freely.
When we clean drainages, we build drainages, and when you come back to them, what you see there are human waste, food, trash in drainages, and the same people come back when it rains to say that they were flooded. And you ask, but we built the drain, we cleaned the drain. Ordinarily, there shouldn't be refuse in a drain in any part of the world that I know. So we must ask ourselves this question, that we must change the choices that we make.
At this time of climate change and global warming, clean and healthy environment remains vital to our living. And the Lagos State government says while it does its own part, the residents should also help in this environment last longer for all of us to live.
Agriculture contributes at least 40% of Anambra State's 1.8 trillion naira gross domestic product. During the formal launch of the 2014 farming season, the state governor, Willie Obiano, told indigents that it's a new dawn for agriculture in Anambra State. He said one of the priorities of his administration is to revolutionize agriculture with the aim of growing the state's economy for food sufficiency, as well as create wealth and employment for the youth.
This kind of event is a first under the administration of Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State. The headquarters of Oyi local government area was agog with people from other parts of the state, including farmers and traditional rulers who gathered to celebrate the new farming season. Governor Obiano told his people that the state's gross domestic product has hit 1.8 trillion naira, with agriculture contributing 40%.
The Minister of Agriculture has been directed to review this list and pull it down to a manageable number where every other farmer can clue into. Assistance to our farmers going forward will be through the cooperatives. And if you register through the cooperatives, we are going to send our lawnmowers and tractors free of charge to come and till your ground. We will also give you seedlings free of charge.
After the formal launch, Governor Obiano inspected seeds, seedlings and livestock displayed by representatives of the 21 local governments in the state. Commending the state government's initiative, the farmers appealed for a more robust assistance, saying that they are ready to tap into the government's vision of an agriculture revolution for Anambra State.
We have a lot of land to farm, but the problem we have is only money to farm. That's our problem. So if government can help us, we are ready to feed Anambra State, even Nigeria in general.
We will be happy if our governor will help us, supply us all the materials which we will use in order to cultivate and have many foods than before.
Wife of the governor, Mrs. Ebele Obiano, handed over the seedlings to the farmers, while the governor demonstrated the enthronement of mechanized agriculture over manual labor.
And now to the arts. Dr. Bruce Anabakpaya is one artist who keeps churning out works even in his 80s. He is a multi-talented artist who crosses from the visual to the literary world seamlessly. Apart from creating illustrations for his contemporaries, he's also authored several books. The latest is Masks of the Flaming Arrows. On Art Review tonight, we take a look at a peek into the life of this veteran artist.
When you get tired of hearing your own name, then we'll change our story. Gouda, the ultimate.
A great writer once said that there is no art to find the mind's construction in the face. Those words aptly describe the situation in Mushin, a suburb in Lagos State, which houses veteran artist Bruce Onogbaikpeya, who is on his feet and hard at work, with an assistant eagerly following instructions on this piece. Not to disturb this creative process, we watch. When the time is right, we sit down and chat about 50 years of creating, discovering, and perfecting several techniques in printmaking, relief sculpture, and painting. You're a great example of an experimental artist. Now, back in the old days, what made you dare to be different?
Like a child who plays with toys. You get tired of a particular toy, and then you get a new toy, and then you get excited and you work with it. Again, you get tired, and so you move to another one. That is how experimental art is.
This multi-talented artist was born on August the 30th, 1932, in Agbaroto, Delta State. He stayed there till his family moved to Benin City, Edo State, where he attended the Western Boys High School. His first rendezvous with painting was beholding the works of Emmanuel Irabo. From there, he was hooked. And it's been over 50 years of experimenting with different techniques, breaking boundaries in printmaking, sculpture, and painting. Now, is there anyone, maybe you say, is closer to your heart? Anyone you prefer?
I started because I specialize in painting, and then from painting, I went back to printmaking, which was to have been my original line of specialization, but it was not discovered in the high school. I discovered it after the high school. And so I went on doing prints, and then while in prints, I was doing things in sculpture, also in painting, but eventually I have come back to making real canvas painting the way I started.
While at the Nigerian College of Arts, Science and Technology, now the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria in Kaduna State, he and some of his colleagues made a name for themselves when they formed the Zaria Art Society, which went down in history as the Zaria Rebels.
You know, usually when they talk about rebellion and so on and so forth, they're looking at students throwing stones, carrying placards and all. No. We never did anything of such. What we did exactly what they asked us to do in the class, the academic side of it. But when we retired to our cubicles, we now discussed how to present our art to rightly project our culture and generation.
During his decades of art practice, he also had the luxury of changing gears to the literary world, not by putting pen to paper, but by illustrating the writer's vision on the book cover. Some examples are An African Night's Entertainment by Cyprian Equincy, Chinua Achebe's No Longer at Ease, Kola Onodipe's Sugar Girl, Daniel Fagunwa's Forest of 1,000 Demons, and the list is a long one. So we wonder.
It's been real joy that I've been able to work with these great people. But when you talk about them, Achebe, Quincy, Fagunwa, Wole Soyinka, you want to look at all of them, all of us, as contemporary. We were around about the same time. Some were a little older, some were much more older, but we were contemporaries. So we're contemporaries pre-independence, to independence, and after independence.
When you look at the art scene now, what do you think? What's your perception about it?
I feel quite happy because before our time, we did not have as many mentors as they are around now, mentoring them. And I see that when they come to full maturity, their generation will be greater than our own generation.
When you get tired of hearing your own name, then we'll change our story. Gouda, the ultimate.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Novak Djokovic and Serena Williams win the Italian Open titles in Rome. Do stay with us.